Hi guys, my name is Lela Sophia. I am an artist and fine jewelry designer. If you like contemporary fine jewelry, if you like luxury handbags, all things interiors, then I have some fun videos for you. Today we're going to go over a topic that I would deem as being very talked about right now, not necessarily trendy. Again, I'm always very kind of anti-trend, but in the most oxymoronic way that is really in the forefront, but is the most classic style that I think you can dress. This can be applicable from anything to your watch style, to the clothes that you purchase, where you purchase them, or the handbags that you carry. This is the quiet luxury, kind of deemed as old money aesthetic. I think that there are so many ways to do this in a timeless way. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already been doing this, but I'm going to give you some specific brands and also articles that will really let you achieve this look. If you guys are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I am so excited to connect with you guys. Hit that like button and make sure that you give me a comment so that we can continue a conversation. I love nothing more than talking to you, so I can't wait. First on my list is a brand that is synonymous with the old money aesthetic or quiet luxury. This is The Row by Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. This brand, to have a brand in my lifetime that has, in my brain, already become a heritage brand is iconic. They are, I've said this in several of my other videos, I think that they're like the pinnacle of fashion. They are incredible, they're brilliant. Their kind of mission statement and thesis statement was to make the perfect piece of clothing in every category, whether that be a t-shirt or a jacket. And I think that they have done that. I am especially in love with the Clea bag. I love this. I have the Row double circle bag. Their quality, their craftsmanship, their kind of lifelong value is just unbeatable. A creator who I love, Tamara, here on YouTube, who is just huge in her own right. She has been getting into the Row even more and more every single time that I watch one of her videos. She's an amazing kind of point of reference and I love her. And of course, who else would be synonymous with The Row but Nilam Ahuja? Oh my gosh, follow her Instagram, follow her on YouTube. The Row is her thing. I love her. My mother also has primarily only purchased bags from The Row. I love the durability. Literally the bag that she wears every single day. She bought at least 5-ish years ago. It looks like it just came off the rack. The Row is amazing. In the same vein, again, kind of a more general category, Celine, when Phoebe Philo particularly was there, really honed that old money, quiet luxury aesthetic. Phoebe Philo, I am so excited for her own collections in the future. She really made the kind of working woman, the everyday woman. She made us a wardrobe. And I think so many designers kind of followed suit. That, oh my gosh, I mean, we all know that era, those collections, it could not be better. It really is the pinnacle of tailoring. She did some oversized pieces, but in very refined ways. Celine is absolutely synonymous. I think that Celine's year next year, which I have said already, next year might be the year of Celine, and I think that the bags in particular, going back to the vintage styles, was the genius thing that Hedi Slimane did. Those bags, that aesthetic is gonna be timeless, one of those bags that you can truly pass down. Bottega themselves have this really unique, interesting take on the quiet luxury aesthetic. It kind of has transformed already in the last couple years, and now with the new creative director, it will transform even more. It's really that no logo. If you know, you know. They have done it in such a brilliant way where now so many more people will be able to pinpoint what is a Bottega bag. That Intrecciato is just classic and iconic from the house. But even the bags without it, I think a lot of people will be able to recognize and kind of like love and appreciate the very minimal branding, the minimal hardware. Those pieces are so beautiful. Again, we are a channel that focuses primarily on fine jewelry and handbags. And so, of course, I'm a sucker for these handbags. There's something about kind of taking away, stripping bags of those logos, of those big chunky pieces of hardware. Not to say that the hardware isn't beautiful. The Bottega bags, I think, are already cult classics. I've added a bunch of pouches to my collection. Watch my handbag collection video to see which ones. The pouch has already, for me, withstood the test of time. They were trendy like 3 or 4 years ago when they came out, but now I think that they're like going into the classic quiet luxury category. For a little shout out, this is a brand that I was hammered into my brain when I was a kid. My aunt was this amazing, amazing, fabulous New Yorker. She really had the minimal kind of quiet luxury aesthetic down. She taught me everything I know. And Wolford and La Perla were the two places where nearly every article of her clothing came from. Wolford is a heritage, staple, iconic brand. Same thing with La Perla. The way that she taught me to dress was really to kind of silhouette out yourself, find what works for you, find a staple kind of base level, and then find something that you love to layer over top. For me, it's huge oversized jackets that either are mid-length or floor length. They have to be quite long, or something like this, a huge oversized shirt. I usually kind of silhouette out myself with a dress or pants and a top, and then add pieces over top. Wolford and La Perla have the perfect base level staples, from the iconic dress to the bodysuits. Those brands will carry you throughout your entire life. Another newer brand similar to the Row in the fact that I think Kate has just absolutely made such a beautiful, amazing mark on us already. She was this past year's Women's Wear Designer Winner of the Year for the CFDA Fashion Awards. Kate has been kind of growing and growing and growing, and these bags in particular, the silhouettes in particular, this whole collection I think is brilliant. Any single piece from her items will help you achieve this look. Again, it's that kind of minimal branding, if you know, you know style, but very, very functional, and I'm a huge fan. 2 more fashion houses for you guys, and then we're moving on to more specific articles. Loewe has just like been synonymous with this. Other than the puzzle bag, which I think is quite recognizable, the flamenco bag is on its way to being recognizable. J.W. Anderson has just like, I think that he's done an incredible job with this house. His pieces himself are amazing, and the creative direction that I think he is taking is so cool. Again, we love the recognizable just for shape and style rather than branding look. And for a brand that is a staple in so many collections, Max Mara are known for their huge, cozy, beautifully constructed coats, but their entire collection, each article from every category, perfectly fits in with this aesthetic. If you are looking for forever pieces, beautifully tailored, kind of in that higher end range, Max Mara is beautiful. Onto the cream of the crop and what I specialize in. Here are a few articles or pieces of jewelry or accessories that I think will perfectly make your collection a quiet luxury old money aesthetic one. To me, I am going to do an entire video on this category because I am not a huge fan of big modern watches. I only like vintage watches. Of course, I'm a jewelry designer, so there you go. Watches that feature more gold or are more bracelet-like, I'm totally drawn to. Adding a vintage or thin bracelet watch is synonymous with the old money luxury aesthetic. Adding a vintage Cartier watch, adding a vintage Rolex watch. Fun fact, watches were actually made for women first, wristwatches specifically. Men more so carried timepieces on their body, and women had these very pretty, very dainty bracelet watches. I myself would totally accept a vintage Rolex or a vintage Cartier. I love the Panther watches. That is just perfect to me. Another piece of jewelry that I think will absolutely be a forever addition to your wardrobe would be a cigar band or just a plain gold band. I think that there is kind of this misconception that plain bands only have to be for wedding bands. I love a plain band. I have a couple myself from my own collection, and so I will link those below. There is the option to, of course, always add stones or not, but a plain band with no stones at all is so classic, is so cool, is kind of on the oxymoronic way of being cutting edge because it's so classic. I love a plain band. And in the same vein, a signet ring. If you haven't already seen, I did an entire video on how this is the best first piece of jewelry to add to your collection. Signet rings are classics. Signet rings, especially, I love with no stones, with just a really beautiful engraving or inscription or design. A signet ring is a staple of so many collections, and that will help you achieve this look. I have just a couple more for you. Very quickly on the Gucci side of things. Gucci, of course, recently with Alessandro, we're sad to see Alessandro go, but he did so much for the brand that made it a little bit more busy, a little bit more recognizable, but there are two styles that he added from vintage references that I think are perfect to add: a Gucci Jackie and a Gucci Horsebit 1955 bag. Either of those styles will perfectly kind of tailor your collection towards that style. It is very much so, if you know, you know. Of course, they're getting a little bit more popular, so those two items are a great way of sticking with I'm in the know, I'm current, but this is how I'm leaning right now. And lastly, to focus in on what we love on this channel, handbags. Delvaux is one of those kind of, if you know, you know, quiet luxury, very cult classic bags. These bags are such a cool option. I'm going to go over them in future kind of in more depth, but these bags will absolutely be forever staples. They are so impeccably made. There are a lot of options on the resale market. There's kind of that one staple style that they have that will trade a little bit more expensive because that's what they're known for. But other than that, their other bags are so well priced, especially on Vestiaire. I will link some below. Okay, that has been my picks for the quiet luxury old money aesthetic. I think that something like this is a really interesting topic because it is on the verge or is already trending. There's a lot of people talking about it. There's a lot of different opinions on it, but it is the one trend that I think is everlasting. Of course, trends are cyclical, but this is the way that I myself maybe lean so more towards dressing, and I think so many other people do. There are so many ways to do this, and so I hope that I have given you some fun tips and tricks. If you like anything, then let me know in the comments down below, and make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you as always. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.